Christopher Nolan's Inception takes place in at least 4 different dream levels, all of which have their own dreamer, layout, and time dilatation factor. While Inception's ending has dominated the conversation around the movie for over a decade, the film has a complex enough story even without considering the mystery of whether the top stopped spinning. The best way to understand Inception's dream levels is to assume that what Cobb perceives as reality is indeed real, at least initially. Cobb had to perform an inception in Robert Fisher, meaning Leonardo DiCaprio's character had to get deep enough into the target's subconscious and plant an idea that would grow like a virus. Fisher's mind could not track down the origin of the idea, which is why they would need at least 3 levels to complete the mission. The Christopher Nolan movie establishes a series of rules regarding how each level works, including but not limited to how differently time passes in each and what is the kick that will wake up the characters. Ground Zero is reality. Time dilatation, none. Robert Fisher, Cobb and Eames on the plane in Inception. Dreamer, none. While not technically a dream level as far as we know it, reality can be considered ground zero of Cobb's mission in Inception. Inception starts with a scene that is later revealed to be set in limbo, followed by moments from 2 different dream levels that help us understand what Cobb does and how the concept of shared dreams works. Between Cobb and Arthur's first interaction with Saito and Cobb running for his life in Mombasa, keeping track of reality in the first act of Inception can be tricky. We are asked to assume that everything that happened from the moment Cobb was hired by Saito to when they started the Fisher mission took place in reality, the only exception being a couple of flashbacks. That said, Inception plays around with the idea of what is real or not even before the actual Inception mission starts, particularly with Cobb not waiting for his top to stop spinning after he wakes up from a strong sleep powered by Yusuf's new compound in Mombasa. Regardless, the Fisher mission starts inside the plane. The first level is the rainy city. Time dilatation, 10 hours equals 1 week. The train in Inception. Dreamer, Yusuf. Assuming reality as Cobb knows it is indeed the real world, the first dream level of the Fisher mission is the rainy city. As soon as the team is sedated and falls asleep on the plane, they find themselves in the middle of a city during a strong rain. We learn that the rain is being caused by the fact that Yusuf, who is the dreamer at this level, drank too much at the airplane before falling asleep. This is where the Inception plan kicks off, with the team staging the kidnapping of Robert Fisher. The idea was to use the kidnapping scenario to force Robert Fisher's subconscious into revealing key information about his relationship with his father, which was the key to Cobb's Inception plan. However, Arthur's research failed to discover that Robert Fisher had been trained to protect his subconscious against dream invaders like Cobb. This is why Cobb and his team are attacked by armored people in the middle of the city. Those are a defense mechanism sent out by Fisher's subconscious. This completely changes the parameters of the mission, forcing the team to move faster and deeper into Fisher's subconscious. The second level is the hotel. Time dilatation, 10 hours equals 6 months. Dreamer, Arthur. After doing the kidnapping routine in the first level and realizing that Fisher was more than prepared to deal with them, the Inception characters put a much riskier plan into practice on the second level, Mr. Charles. It involves telling Fisher that he is dreaming so that Cobb can present himself as the person who is training him to deal with extractors. It is an extremely risky plan because it reveals to the target they are in a dream, meaning their subconscious sets up their defenses immediately. Through the Mr. Charles plan, Cobb learns more about Fisher here. The goal is to make Fisher believe that his godfather is a traitor. The only way to fix Robert Fisher's relationship with his father was by destroying the only positive relationship he had in his life, which is why they started framing Browning as a traitor. With Fisher starting to believe that Browning was behind the kidnapping and buying Cobb's Mr. Charles story, he was now part of the team without knowing he was actually the target of their mission. Cobb, Eames, Saito, Ariadne, and Fisher then get another level down. The third level is the Snow Fortress. Time dilatation, 10 hours equals 10 years. Dreamer, Eames. Fisher, now believing that Cobb and his team are trying to help him, thinks he is the one dreaming this level. The Snow Fortress should have been the final stage of the mission, with the fort in the middle of the map guarding the secret that Fisher believed he was looking for. In reality, getting Fisher into the fort was the manifestation of the inception they were trying to perform. They were now deep enough into Fisher's brain to plant the idea that not only did his father love him, but he wanted his son to carve his own path.